Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Christelle Martinette with the reading, a single reading for all of us. And today I'm celebrating International Youth Day. Yes, the 12th of August, today, Saturday, is International Youth Day. Let's see what is in store for us today. International Youth Day around the world. Let's see what the cards have to tell us. International Youth Day. As I mix the cards, remember that the contest to win a past life regression session will be ending on midnight, 23rd of August, Central European Time, and the contest involves writing the story of a past life in the context of a Renaissance story framed by the Renaissance period. Take a look, Google it. Thank you all of you who have already submitted a story, and we'll be getting back to you by the beginning of September with the winner. So, contest for the past life regression session, to win the past life regression session, which is the value of $300. Falls due the 23rd of August. Let's think of the day, International Youth Day. What's in store for us? Okay. First I'll show you what's below the deck. What's on the bottom of the deck, which I rarely do, but I've felt compelled to do that, which is darkness. Let's see if the candle close by will help me. The Knight of... I'll have to do with that. I'll have to do with this light, whatever it brings me. The Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. Very, very interesting. We have a focus card of the Two of Cups. Two of Cups. We have an Ace of Swords here. Ace of Swords. Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. The Death card, the very top, the Two of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune. I showed you the Two of Cups, which is a focus card. Then under that, the Four of Swords, the Four of Wands, mirroring each other, and the Six of Cups, the last three cards, the Six of Cups, the Hermit, and the Judgment card. All right, there's, you know, it seems that the cards are telling us, give time to time, you know, take your time. And remember that time is really of no essence on an earthly plane, on this astral plane, sorry, I meant to say. And that we at this third dimension, are grappling with this fiction of time, moving, you know, forward. We say, I need to move forward. Everyone comes to me. It is a time for me to move forward, you know. And the time and movement and space elements in our third dimension are really difficult fictions, I'm going to call them, to grapple with when we talk of concepts of abstract concepts such as love, hate. Now, the only other concept that is abstract, which is energy, is still an enigma, and I'll be doing a series of talks on those. Because if you ask a physicist, they'll say, what is energy? Energy is movement. Energy is a production of something. Energy is this. Energy is that. But then you know that there's the metaphysical plane. And what I'm seeing here, starting with this Ace of Ace of Swords, and this is the ingoing card, this is the outcoming card, the Judgment card, is that there is a certain, okay, let's say there's a certain truth, and I'm saying that in inverted commas, there's a certain truth that concerning, because I have here a diagonal with the Ace of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the Two of Cups, the Four of Wands, and the Judgment card. There's a certain truth that it has, I'm saying, I would like to say has emerged or is about to emerge and is emerging. No, that is, I have to say. This is giving me a challenge, this spread today, because there is a truth that is, whether we like to acknowledge it or not, whether we like to say, okay, there's love all around me. I'm surrounded by love. I have a beautiful family. Let's say this is an example. I'm surrounded by love. I have a beautiful family. I have such lovely friends, abundance in my life, and the energy that I feel, however, is something that tends to be dark. I'm feeling something dark, and I've heard this over and over and over again. There's a darkness around me, and people say, I feel things, I know things. And well, we're humans, and we're here on this earth to have this experience because of the emotions. Our emotions make us feel, so we all feel, and the idea here is to remember in August, there are two eclipses that we're in the middle of. There was the lunar, the partial lunar, and the 21st, there's the full solar eclipse. Now, eclipses, what do they tend to do energetically? Energetically, they create the groundwork for what we call negative energy. And negative energy is simply energy that would tend to sway us from divine source energy, okay? And what happens there is that we tend to, in some way, be drawn, we are attracted to and feel surrounded by an energy that normally wouldn't jive with our vibrational state. Now, I know it's difficult as a concept to get around, but suffice it to say that in this period between the two eclipses, I have energy that I've around me. All right. Now, I'm not saying me personally. I don't feel this personally, because I have different ways of working with energy. And last night I was talking to a client, a subscriber, and she was saying to me, what do I do? There's times when, and I just say no. You just say no. You just say out, stop, go. You are a person who, if you are sound of mind, and that is a big if, okay? If you are sound of mind and you can put intention behind your actions and thoughts, suffice it to say no or out, or you have to put your intentions here. In what you desire, what you want. And also there was, she also said to me, well, I don't know how to really put my intentions out. I don't know how to pray. I don't know how to invoke. Now, when, of course, communication, everyone communicates in their own way, and it's difficult for me to suggest to different people how they can pray, invoke, send their intentions out to the universe, think, attract things to them. You have to devise your own, what works for you, Now, I didn't want this to become a lesson on managing energies, but what I'm seeing here is an energy of love that is surrounded by doubt, complete doubt. I'll say we when I'm talking about us, that we are in this time where we have the focus of love. We know that it's there. We know who and with whom it resides, okay? But there is this shifting, like shifts, quicksands. You feel that you're on quicksands because there are, at the same time, you feel two things. We feel two things. There's a fundamental base that gives us the impression that we have a very strong stability. Our love is strong. Our beliefs are strong. We are strong. But at the same time, there is this element of change, wanting to change, feeling the change around us. But added to that is this element of doubt. Am I doing the right thing? Will I, if I continue in this path, on this path, will I be going to a better place? And of course, then I would ask, I'm being the devil's advocate here. Where is that better place for you? What do you want? If you know that, then that's half the job done. If you know what you want. If it's not Tom Jones or Alicia Scott, if you can give it rather than a name, it's only one person. That is a person, that poor person. You're giving them so much responsibility for your own life. And what we want should never be in the form of a $sign. And I'm not saying, I'm coming down with a heavy hand saying should never be. But in terms of universal energy, our desires and our place here on this world, because now I've gone through the feeling that we are stable, we want change, there's doubt, but there's also the element of time that drives us all absolutely berserk. If we're able to remove the element of time from our notions, from our concepts, of course, wearing a watch because we have to get to work, wearing a watch because we have a meeting, we'll be much in a better place. What I did not, with this concept of, and I feel like I'm rambling because I'm getting so much at the same time, so bear with me, please. There is that stable notion of we are in a good place because I know who I love, how I love, what I love, and love. I'm surrounded by love. The notion of wanting to change constantly and feeling that there's cause for change. The idea of having doubt that maybe I'm not thinking the right things, maybe I'm not going on the right path, and the element of time, which is an enigma. I've gone through them all without talking of the Death card and the Hermit card. These two are mirroring each other at the top and at the bottom. There's the Basis, the Hermit, and the Death card at the top. Constant renewal between desire for change and doubt, and the Hermit between feeling the strong basis and knowing that it is in a basket. It is in an abstract notion of time. And so we have, we live a life where we reason with ourselves. We desire, because we're social animals, to go toward others. And when we set, just a parenthesis here, a digression. When we set, let me finish that. When we set our sights on someone and we put all our energy there, and we have expectations, and that it makes us, our expectations are not met, then it enacts a cycle of distress, sadness. And I always tell people, I'm the kind of person that there was a gentleman who said, but I just want to be with you and all of that, but you don't know, aren't you happy that okay. And I said no, because I'm the kind of person, I set my sights on somebody. I take I come out of my cave, hit them over the head with my club, and then pull them into my cave. That's me. That's the way that's the way I act, And so it's a very brutal force in my case. In many people's cases, they have a silk glove. It's very subtle, but the interactive dance does occur. And it occurs amidst all of these energies that we're feeling between these two eclipses today on International Youth Day. And youths, that is the promise for the future. That is the innocence, that we feel that we no longer have because we're thinking animals. And today, more than ever in the past, we think about our state. our existential state. And now, let's say on a different plane, on a different level, on a different dimension, we've got these 4 cards that talk about openness, intelligence, interaction, in a way that will move toward where we want. It's almost manipulative in nature. I see many of us enacting a cycle of manipulation when it comes to interacting with others. And this, in the case of people we already know, we have already met, and we manipulate or try to manipulate their energy toward us, even, and I'm getting this as a negative practice here, it's coming to me, even to the point of using some kind of witchcraft to attract these people to us, which would be interfering with other people's free wills. And of course, what free will is open for debate. We could stay here days on end and talk about free will and what that is. But ultimately, today, the 12th of August, for me, and from what I can see, you know, I'm here, I'm reaching always for these Vera Sibila, but these tarot are just shouting at me. And I've never spent that much time on the tarot initial spread. And I can go on and on and on, because of course there's this other diagonal, and the other diagonal talks about love. There's a love story here. A love story here that talks of a push-pull with time, recurring, always recurring in terms of past lives. And, you know, past lives, again, I hate to use that term because that calls on the element of time. Okay, past when I was in another body, you know, and that still brings on the idea of time going forward, when in truth, time is a fiction that we've created, and a fiction that helps us in many ways, and it's helping me to speak, actually, but it is indeed a fiction. So let's say if I suspend the notion of time with this person here, the 6 of Cups, if I suspend the notion of time, I'm dancing with them at a plane, and I'm interacting with them in a plane, having sexual encounters on a plane, that where I am now with this 14 degrees Celsius outside and rain in Berlin is not, I don't feel it, but I assure you that that's taking place, and it is good, probably one of the best. Never did I think that when I opened the cards, when I decided to do this reading, that it would come out like this. There's cycles here that are reminding us that we are alone, we are born alone, we die alone, and what happens in between is a dance that we enact. We can try, as many of us do, at one time or another in our existence, to maneuver, manipulate. It will come back to bite you in the ass, and be careful what you wish for. And the notion of unconditional love here is, you know, is out the window, because it seems to me that there is not a greed, but a want, a burning desire, a feeling of being half and not whole, you know. It seems that any kind of language that I use this morning when I'm doing these readings here in Central European time is not sufficient. So, you know, I know you'll be writing to me and saying, what is she on about? What are you talking? I didn't understand a thing. It is extremely difficult. The reading is extremely difficult. And here it's 8:55. I started the reading about 8:30 in the morning, and I never have a glass of wine at that. You know, I like wine in company usually. I never drink at this hour. I'm not one to drink. I'm not you know, I don't have an obsessive character, so, you know, that's not the case. What I do have is not an obsession, but a desire to open cards and look and see what they can counsel us to. And the suggestions that I'm getting is, well, first of all, be careful with the manipulation. know that the energies that are occurring in this period, in the 12th, on the 12th, between these two eclipses, may be rife with the feeling of having negativity around us, or it may cause us actually to be more manipulative in terms of getting what we want, influencing other people. And again, it involves people from your past in any time frame that you that could be possible. It could be a past life. It could be yesterday. It could be 10 years ago. It could be 12 years ago. It could be 3 months ago. Someone that you know, okay, and you know better than I. But remember that the card under the deck was this Knight of Pentacles, and the Knights do enact change, and the Knights look at the way that this is a highly spiritual card, holding up that pentacle, moving through the nights. There are stars there, and very slowly getting through this time. It's an extremely difficult time. Why don't I take a break from myself now, and let's say I've done what I could with because they're coming up with the same messages. Let me take the Vita Sibilla and go to those areas where I feel not are problematic, where there's something stuck, like the energy is stuck. First thing I'll do is go to the Seven of Pentacles, because I've read in a circular fashion around this Two of Cups, very balanced Two of Cups, but then our mind tends to remove this equilibrium. I'm going to the Seven of Pentacles. All right, now, the Seven of Pentacles, and I apologize for the lighting. For some reason, I don't have good lighting today. I have the Imeneo, the nuptial dance here, Malinconia, melancholy, and the Donna Maritata, the married woman who is a protector, could be a man as well. Now, the interesting part of it is, first of all, any way we cut it, the Imeneo is a positive card. It also talks about business. It also talks about anything, abundance coming our way. It is mirrored by the Donna Maritata, which can talk, and this is the negative energy coming in. It is a protector, but in certain spreads, in certain positions, it can be a negative influence. And here I'm seeing it as a negative influence. And the negative influence, to get there, we get there through this melancholy, which is a happiness that was lost, is lost. So the musings here are the notion that we try to cover, I'm going to use it, cover ourselves, the thoughts, with our activities. We are unable to, because we feel that there's negative influence around us. And so even the most positive of us will turn to this notion of melancholy, which is looking back. And it is a time, it's framed by time. And so as I see it, up until now, the element of time is driving us nuts. You know, it's the time factor. If we can, put that time in a bubble and put it on the shelf, get rid of it, we'll be much better off in this moment. I'm going to take now the Sibilla cards on the Hermit here at the bottom of the spread. Okay, now it's interesting how the Sibilla always give a different, they give you details and a different view and clarify the tarot. But they go one step further, and over the Hermit, what do I have? I have Viaggio, the movement, the trip. And that is also a change of position. Here I have thought, which is the concepts, ideas, brilliant ideas that come. And then fidelity, which talks of success in love as well, generally. And these cards together are very, very telling of what our poor hermit is trying to say. This is a moment here, the 12th of August, where we're trying to devise, many of us, I'm not saying, and I'm not getting all of us, I'm really seeing 50%. There is one half of us who is trying to not strategize, but think about. It's not the strategizing that I'm seeing with the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Swords there, the Ace of Swords. No, this is thinking about possible movements toward that person in a subtle way. Why is the situation the way it is now? I'm not only thinking of partners, romantic partners. Here I'm thinking also in terms of businesses. How can I move toward that business? How can I move toward that person, that partner, and make it go well? Things have not been so good lately, you know. Now, again, remember, in between the two periods, the two eclipses, we're in a period where around us there is energy that just doesn't make us sit right. I'm going to take the Sibila cards here over the Death card at the top as well. Can't wait to see what the runes have to say. Now, I have conversazione, morte, death over death. It's a focus card at the top center here. Change, it's change. And the vedovo, the widower here, which talks about regrets. I'm not seeing this as actual death. No, this is an interior monologue that speaks and smacks of regrets, desire to enact change, and it's mirroring the Hermit card. Now, I think I have gleaned enough from this, and there's change afoot, and what we will be thinking about this period, this weekend, is going to be how to enact change with respect to our current situation. It may involve romantic partners, it may involve family, it may involve business partners, extended family, friends as well. But it's a very trying time, not trying where we'll be nervous, depressed. No, where there'll be a lot of mental activity and a lot of posturing, thinking up, well, if I do this, what will happen? Well, this, and thinking and rethinking. I'm going to cast the runes to see what they can add. All right. All right, well, okay, now, over the Two of Cups, our focus card, I have two contrasting runes. I have Bjork, Berkana, which is Merkstave, as you can see, and Awats, which is Brightstave. It's the journeying rune, and it's stop. It's calling for, what it's telling us is that in this day, today, the weekend, what's coming down is all in our minds and planning, thinking, posturing, what if this is and that is. It's going to be a lot of work at a mental level. Also, I'm seeing Uruts, which is Brightstave, over our Seven of Pentacles, and it will be this way for many of us, that the moment feels of such importance that we spiritually, almost, it is bordering on a spiritual crisis, and it needs to be addressed. It cannot be swept under the rug, this feeling, these sensations that we have. It needs to be addressed straight on. Now, I have three other runes. One is the Hue tree, Algits, and it's Merkstave, as you can see. It's over the Ace of Swords. And our tongue, right, is going to be so quick that we'll have no protection in terms of what comes out and the reactions of other people to us. What does that mean? That means that no matter how we try, the cards are, giving us counsel. They're telling me, look, well, this is what I'm seeing. So be careful of how you word what you're going to say. Be careful about, the tongue may be quicker than the mind, at times. And just beware that you're not protected there. That is an Achilles heel this day, in the days that come, the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th. I also see, however, two runes placed in a position that tell us, first of all, tear bright stave. Over the Four of Wands, our strong point is precisely this firm foundation that we rest on, that where we have come, be it in a partnership of any kind, of family, extended inner family, friends. This is our strength, and this will remain our strength. And please remember that, because it seems like there's so much energy surrounding us that can sway us, dissuade us. And what is interesting is, and I have read it properly, this death card, Soilo is the sun. Soilo is the sun over the death card, telling us that there is renewal in change. There is renewal and change, and it's a necessary passage. It's like a rite of passage that we need to go through in order to then receive success. Now, I hope this was of help to you, ladies and gentlemen, and I apologize for the difficulty initially in reading the tarot spread because of the strength in the cards and the message that was jumping out. Caught me by surprise actually this morning, and I'm sure there's something here for us all. I'm going to go back and listen to myself and listen to my to my reading and just hear myself say now, because I repeat now so often, but you'll forgive me for that as well. So please have a great weekend and a wonderful International Youth Day, and find that youth in us all. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome new subscribers, and thank you for staying with me. Old subscribers, bye-bye. This is Christelle Martinette. Until we see each other again.